What's going on, guys? Welcome back. I am so happy to be here with a special guest, man. This guy is one of my greatest friends I met on the internet. Ren Geekness is seriously somebody that I'm always watching his reviews, man. I actually discovered him through the Clone Wars, watching Star Wars Clone Wars, but we have both shared such a big love for anime, so I had to get him on the channel. We've collabed several times, and man, every time it's been a joy talking with this guy. I mean, just a great content creator. If you don't follow him already, his links are down in the description, but I am so excited to finally have him on my channel today. He's had me on his channel a few times, so I had to get him on, man. I had to get him on. My man Ren, guys, if you haven't checked him out, definitely do so. But man, I am so excited to introduce my friend, Ren Geekness. What's up, man? How you doing?
Woo! Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here, brother. Thank you so much for the kind words that you already spoke about me. It's my pleasure. I'm excited to talk about anime. And anybody watching this, don't worry about this little thing on top of my head. My camera is not dying anytime soon.
It's just a cool accessory, guys. Like Ren is that good that he has.
I'm funny for my life.
Oh man, but tell the people a little bit where they can find you and what you do.
You can find me on Twitter and YouTube at Ren Geekness and on Instagram at RenVieira93. It's more of a personal account, social media account, but I always post on my stories like what I'm watching, what I thought, when the review's coming up. And I also do movie reviews, much like Leo, TV reviews. Sometimes I do trailer reactions, and I'm slowly but surely getting more and more into anime. I reviewed the first season of The Promised Neverland last year, and I'm picking and choosing what I should get into. So lots of anime content coming sooner or later to the channel. Again, slowly but surely I'm getting there.
Yeah, man, I've been seeing you drop some every now and then. Didn't you drop a Digimon one as well?
I did for the movie. I'm thinking about reviewing the show maybe one day, but that's more of a back burner. But I for sure review the film.
Yeah, I understand, man. That movie looks so good. I was like,
oh, it is.
Woo, Return to Digimon Adventure, bro. Like, oh,
yeah,
blast from the past.
It was, and it was a great way to say goodbye. I will say that without spoiling anything, because I know you haven't seen the film yet.
Yeah, not yet. So no spoils.
No.
But y'all, welcome back to the channel. This is my new live stream series for the love of movies. But as you can see, this is the anime edition. So we'll be talking all things anime today. And I'm so glad to be chatting with Ren. But if anybody's here and they haven't seen My Hero Academia, you haven't seen all of Dragon Ball, quick spoiler warning. We will be diving into some spoilers for both of those series. So just in case, cover your eyes and cover your ears. But we've got a couple people in the chat. What's going on? Isaac, what up, man? And Mike Thomas, 2 out of 3 from the Amateur Otaku, which I can't wait to have you guys on. You guys are next in line, so I can't wait. But man, Ren, let's just dive into it, man. I just want to know how you got into anime. Like, was it when you were younger? Did you discover it as a teen? When did you get into anime, and like, how has it really impacted your life?
It's a funny question that I don't know if my answer is satisfying, but I know I got into anime very young. I don't remember a precise age, but I knew there was a blog on a TV channel back in my home country, Portugal, that just aired. We didn't have quite Toonami, but there was a specific channel you knew the animes were airing there. And there was a block with Dragon Ball, Knights of the Zodiac, or Saint Seiya, Rurouni Kenshin, or Samurai X, as I grew up knowing it, Sailor Moon, and other stuff that I don't quite remember what they are. Like, if I saw images, I'd recognize it, but not the exact name. But I always remember enjoying Dragon Ball, and even stuff like Heidi. I watched that growing up, and not until much later I found out it was an anime, but it was an anime that I watched growing up. But yeah, and after that, they kept changing channels, and then there were more channels that had several cartoons, but then started including anime like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Metabots, and Shin-Chan. It's more of a comedy anime, but still counts, and stuff like that. Naruto didn't come. It's one of the big ones, so it's worth talking about, but it wasn't one that came until very much later in my life.
Oh, so like Naruto... Like the beginning series, or like Shippuden?
The first one, okay.
One,
just nice. Naruto, yeah.
So this sounds a lot like Toonami, like a ton.
Yeah. There wasn't like a particular block, like there wasn't a Toonami intro and say, you're now watching Toonami. No, it was just a channel that from, let's say, 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock, just things, and then it aired other TV shows that had nothing to do with anime.
Oh man, so yeah, it had like a block. Okay, that's dope. That's dope. So which was your favorite out of the ones in that block? Was it Dragon Ball?
Yeah, it's cliche, but it was Dragon Ball. I love the spiky hair. I love the action. I like them all at the time, but Dragon Ball is the one that stuck around. It's the one that really blew up. Like, I could tell you stories, not from me, but of people who were in the army, and the army in Portugal, granted, is much different than the American army, but people who were in the army and they wanted to finish their drills in time to watch Dragon Ball when it was airing. There were people who ran after school home because they wanted to see Dragon Ball when it was airing, and all sorts of different. It captured it was Star Wars, at least as my country is concerned. That was Dragon Ball had the same impact as Star Wars had on several generations throughout the world.
I mean, yeah, man. Dragon Ball was just that thing that brought people together. You know, it's like kind of like you could be from so many different worlds, but you could all relate because it was like, yo, you see that latest episode of Dragon Ball?
Yeah, and it was actually the first, at least that I remember, was like the first cartoon where you were like, oh, adults are watching a cartoon, like the drawings that move. That's not for kids, and it wasn't. Dragon Ball was the first thing that gave me the notion of, oh, adults can watch cartoons and it's cool, it's natural. And for the longest time, that was the only thing.
Oh, right on. Let me ask you something. Did Dragon Ball Z come out before Dragon Ball in your country, or was it Dragon Ball, then Z, then GT?
It's a great question, but I don't know how to answer. I know the first one I got to watch was Dragon Ball Z. But the original Dragon Ball was also airing on another channel at the same time, and they rotated. Like, as soon as it finished, they'd start airing the other episode. And they came back, and they came into my country much later than what they debuted. So whenever it was airing, it wasn't airing week to week. It was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And they had this little block where they are 2 episodes. The one from the previous day, and then the current one, and then on Wednesday, and then it continues on and on and on, and it was just 40 minutes of Dragon Ball, man. So I don't know if it came before, if they both came in at the same time. I remember the first one I checked out was Dragon Ball Z, but then I went back and watched the first one, and then rewatched Dragon Ball Z, and to this day I still have 2 hard drives of Dragon Ball content with all the shows.
That's amazing, dude. Whoa, you got the whole series?
I have the whole series. Look, it's pirated, but it's pirated because I got it from Portugal. I wanted the Portuguese dub. There are not DVDs of the show, so we had to grind and fight to get the shows as we wanted them, you know? I paid for the Blu-rays of the DVDs of the movies, but the show is not available with the Portuguese dub anywhere. So we had to record the episodes off TV, and someone put them out on the internet, on the Portuguese forums, and I was like, I need Dragon Ball in Portuguese, you know?
Yeah, man, that's some dedication right there to have the whole series just locked into the hard drive like that. That's what's up. All right, let's transition just kind of into more general anime a little bit more as well. What would you say are like your top 4 or 5 favorite anime series? Now, I did see this a little while ago on Twitter, but
yeah,
I want to, just in case you might have changed your mind or anything like that, I want to hear it here.
Maybe one of them changes off the top of my head, because I know I did this on Twitter and I posted mine as well. But off the top of my head, Dragon Ball is there because it's Dragon Ball. It has persevered throughout time, and it has several shows. So when I say Dragon Ball, it's all of Dragon Ball. I love it all. Even the one that's not canon that most people don't like. I love it.
I was saying like GT.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Super Saiyan 4.
Super Saiyan 4, I love it. Not until much later in my life did I realize this was actually supposed to be fur. But we'll get into that later. Like, top 5 anime of all time. So Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works is my number 1. Undisputed champion. I don't think anything is beating it ever. That show has movie quality style of animation. It just looks amazing. I have no idea how they did it. It's one of the few animes I actually have a collector's. It's the only anime I have a collector's set of the Blu-ray. So that's number one, Dragon Ball. I'm gonna go Cowboy Bebop, which is cliched, but it's true.
So good.
I put My Hero Academia on there, but I put it with an asterisk because it's not over yet. And usually I don't like doing that with shows that are not over yet, and I like to just judge them whenever I finish them. But My Hero Academia is really strong, so it gets there nonetheless. And what do I have? 3 so far, or 4 so far. So last one. What did I put in as last one? Off the top of my head, I'd go for Gurren Lagann, Tegen Toppa Gurren Lagann, because it's also, it's amazing. So those are a few of the ones. Naruto gets an honorable mention, I guess, but yeah, those are the ones that come to mind.
How incredible of a character is Kamina from Gurren Lagann? Oh my god.
So inspiring, dude. I wanted to be that guy for my friends. Like, don't believe in you, but believe in the me that believes in you. Come on!
He's so good, and his influence just rings over the entire series.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good, man. It's so good.
Like, I had to stop. You know what I'll be talking about. Not to spoil someone in the chat who might not have seen it, but after episode 7, I stopped for a few days because I was like, nope, I don't want to watch anymore. I'm done with the show.
Oh, my God. Like... I just don't want that to happen to All Might. Like, that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I want to say. Like,
same.
Let's not go there with MHA, please. Oh,
yeah,
man.
nah.
That would be just a little too much, you know. I'm like, let's keep this cool.
Yeah.
Let's keep our guy in it.
I'm with you.
Oh man, we got I seen a Cowboy Bebop reference earlier. Yep, 3, 2, 1, let's jam. Yes. So good, man. Like one of the best anime intros.
Oh,
ever.
for sure. Like the entire score is amazing. I was dumbfounded when I first heard it.
I know, right? Like this jazz-infused sci-fi type crossover is too tight. Oh man, but who are some of your favorite anime characters? Just to be from any anime, doesn't have to necessarily be from the top 5.
Okay. So I'm going one anime that I didn't mention in my top 5 again. Just like Dragon Ball, it's the IP in general, but Digimon is also up there. So for Naruto, let me start with Naruto because I have unpopular opinions on Naruto. I'm Uchiha. Okay. Fully honest, I'm an Uchiha guy. My favorite characters of Naruto are number 1, and it's not even close between 1 and 2. Itachi is the best Naruto character. Obito comes second, and Sasuke comes third. Goku, of course. Future Trunks, specifically Future Trunks from Dragon Ball. Emiya and Archer and Rin from Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. Deku and All Might is my number 1 in My Hero, but Deku, All Might, Todoroki. Ooh, who else? I'm gonna go Takuya from Digimon Frontier, Takato and Rika from Digimon Tamers, and Tai and Matt. It's a tie from Digimon Adventure. Off the top of my head, that's kind of it. Like, am I missing something? Kokoro Sensei. Kokoro Sensei. I'm seeing on our background right now.
See, I haven't even watched that anime.
You got to, man.
I'm throwing it on the list, bro. I'm throwing it on the list. When you were going through Digimon, did you like Digimon Tamers Volume 2, the Adventures Volume 2? Did you like that?
I liked it. I remember at the time, I was one of those kids, in all honesty, I was one of those kids that... So Digimon was over, but Digimon 2 came out. Digimon 2 was already better because it's a new thing, but it's Digimon, so I already like it better, you know? I was one of those kids that whenever the new thing came around, but as long as it was kind of the same thing, I liked it better at the time. Like, I watched the first episode of Digimon 02, and I'm like, this is already better! I already love it! It's Digimon! Because it was new, it was fresh, it was a shiny new thing, you know? But yeah, I liked it a lot. Then, if you want to get into Digimon, I gotta get into the different channels and changing times of when they aired, because I missed a lot. Like, the first Digimon, I remember, I'm not sure what the word in English is for it, so after school, when you were, like, in first, second, third, from through fourth grade. Usually after school, I didn't go home. I had this place I went to with all the kids from my class and several other schools where we were educated until our parents got off work and picked us up at like 6 p.m., 7 p.m., something like that.
Oh, okay. So like an after-school day camp?
Yeah, something like that. That's probably the best way to describe it. And that's where I started watching Digimon, because it started airing on one of the main channels midway through the afternoon, like at 4 or 4 something. And that's where I started. I was like, oh, what's this? And we all watched it, and we all fell in love. And then I got to watch, I believe, if not all, most of the episodes, whether there or at home, if it caught some of the summer vacation and whatnot. But what I remember, Leo, is that one day I was there, and the last episode was airing, and we watched like 5 minutes of it, and then they turned it off because we had some BS activity. So for the first run of Digimon on television, and I didn't know what was going to I didn't know it was going to come to another channel in the I didn't know how that worked. So for the first run of Digimon, I missed the last episode. I did not see how the show ended.
Oh no, dude, that's the biggest tease ever.
It's horrible, and the biggest problem at the time was none of the other kids cared. So they called us to some activity or to snack in the afternoon or wherever, and they all went, and I was like, no, I want to watch it. I want to watch it.
Give me that ending. Oh my god, that's like torture, dude. That's like giving you a book and ripping out the last chapter.
Exactly. I was like, what the? Why would you even show me that it's on?
Oh, that is, wow. Oh my god, that's such torture, man. I'm sorry you have to go through it.
No, it's okay. I now have it. I also have the Portuguese dub of Digimon, so it's all good.
You're set, man. So were you like the anime kid out of your friends? Or did you have a group of friends that were?
I think there was a group, but I think it's fair to say I was the anime kid. You know, there were several anime kids, but I was the anime kid. Because it's not that they didn't like it, but they were just fine giving priority to something else or missing it or not following through. I wanted to see it. Like, I was connected to those stories, to those characters. So whether it was anime or any other sort of show, animated show, anime or not, I was kind of the guy.
So you were like the anime expert. You were
like the
dude
I was.
That brought it all to this circle, man. I see.
I'm not sure if expert was the word at the time, at least, but addicted. I was the addicted kid. I had my priorities wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right, wrong. Like, here we are, though, you know?
Exactly.
I see you got the Ultra Instinct Goku on the other side, too, right?
Oh, yes. I bought them together, actually, at a con.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
All right, let's move into Dragon Ball, man. Like, we gotta talk about just Dragon Ball franchise.
Let's do this,
man. So, which series would you say was your favorite out of all of them, and then which would you say is your least favorite?
Oh,
or is it just like a whole encompassing thing for you?
No, I can differentiate them. Like, there's one that I think has the best moment, but it's not the best show. I don't know how unpopular that's going to be when I say which one has the best moment out of it all. But the best one, I think it's Z. Z is overall the better show out of them all. I like them all a lot, but I guess the one I'd say I like the least is the first Dragon Ball, just because it's quote-unquote the least epic. It's the least grandiose. Like GT, which has its faults, goes into fun places, like goes beyond what you think they'd go to. We get new transformations and whatnot. Z is Z, and Super, just after those first 2 arcs, which are just elongated versions of the movies, it's really great for the most part.
Ooh, hot take here in the comments, perp. Super is worse.
Wow.
Ooh.
I don't know if it's unpopular. I think there are a lot of people that agree with that. I have a lot of friends who didn't like Super overall until the last arc.
You gotta let me know, perp. Where's the GT?
Yeah. So I don't agree, but I respect and understand.
Yeah, I disagree though. I gotta hear, perp. Why Super? But Ren, yeah. So let me know, which saga is your favorite out of the Dragon Ball Z Because, man, you got that Frieza start coming in hot. And then even before that, the Saiyan saga with Raditz, Vegeta, and then you've got Cell, you've got Boo. I mean, it's just so extensive.
So again, I like them all a lot, and I don't know how unpopular this will be, but I freaking love the Cell saga.
Oh my god.
The Cell saga is so good because, and this is gonna seem like I'm contradicting myself when I say who my favorite character is, but the fact that they took Goku out and allowed so many others to shine and quote-unquote passed on the torch to Gohan before he was butchered character-wise.
For real.
It allowed him so much. I had no idea what was going to happen. It's the most different arc of them all because you really don't... Even when I rewatch it, I have a feeling that I don't know what's going to happen. Goku is out. Goku is dead. He's out of this. What is going to happen in this?
Yeah, there's like a sense of urgency there the whole time. You know, it's like without the main hero, where did we really go from here, and how do we stop the threat? Because man,
exactly,
like, Goku was the glue to the Z Warriors, and when it
yeah, and it even puts more pressure on Vegeta because like Vegeta now has something to prove more than any other time, and when he fails, it's emotionally devastating.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's so good in that gripping moment with Gohan where he turns to Super Saiyan 2. Oh my god.
His Super Saiyan 2 is one of the best transformations, and it's one of the best like looks for a Saiyan. Like I think Gohan Super Saiyan 1 is one of the lamest looks, but then he compensates by having one of the best when he goes Super Saiyan 2. And Teen Gohan is my favorite Gohan.
Yeah, it's kind of like in his Super Saiyan form, they do the training or whatever, and his hair is the same. It's like not even spiky or nothing. Like, come on, y'all.
Yeah, it looks like a bunch of bananas. It's like he just dropped bananas on his head.
Dude, what happened to that character, man?
I have no idea. That's a good question. But in the universe tournament arc, you can see that they're trying to bring him back a little bit. So hopefully when Super comes back, when's that happening, by the way, they keep going on that road of bringing Gohan back to his glory days.
Yeah, man. It's tough. It's like once they dug that hole, it's really hard for them to get out of it.
Yeah.
With the Great Saiyan Man and stuff, like, really?
that part actually didn't bother me. It wasn't until Super, actually, which is one of the reasons why I see why a lot of people dislike Super. Like, he does nothing on Super. He's wearing a full-on sports gym onesie, and then he's wearing glasses, and he gets his ass kicked. Not until the Universe arc he does something worth anything at all. So it's rough for Gohan fans out there.
Yeah, he does nothing, man. My favorite character just gets destroyed after
He's your favorite? Okay, cool.
Until he gets destroyed as a character.
Oh, yeah.
What up, SPC Bird? He's asking if there's any Yu Yu Hakusho fans.
I never watched it. That wasn't one that aired back in my country. So it's an anime I know of. I know the premise. I know it's very much loved. It is from that time in the 90s with Dragon Ball, Samurai X, Captain Tsubasa even for some people, and all that stuff. But it's one I had never actually watched myself.
Oh, man. Throw that on the list, bro. But I will say quality, it kind of does drop down a bit, but like that first arc is absolutely just amazing.
All right.
I think you'll like Yusuke too as a character. He has character qualities that I think you will really enjoy.
Okay.
Now, in terms of Dragon Ball, how would you rate that as a series, 1 to 10?
Dragon Ball as a whole.
Yeah, I guess we can go Dragon Ball Z, then Dragon Ball, then GT, then Super.
Okay, so Dragon Ball Z, I'm gonna go 9, because I think that's very little wrong with that show. Besides the filler, like in any anime, the filler can be really bad, but when it's good, it's never just good. It's amazing. So I don't think that show has many faults in general. I know people have a lot of issues with the Buu saga. I freaking love the Buu saga. So I'm gonna go very high, 9 for me to Dragon Ball Z. How about you?
Oh, dude, Dragon Ball Z for me, easy 9. I mean, Dragon Ball Z is just like you were saying. It's what we all rushed home after school to see.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, how about regular Dragon Ball?
Right, it's one of those that's kind of got the opposite issue. It's never blowing the roof off the place when it's good, but it's consistent, it's solid, it's really fun. But when it's bad, it's never really awful. It's just average. So I'm gonna go quite high for that one as well. I'm gonna go 7.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the regular Dragon Ball, when you were talking about filler, I was like, that's a series where the filler is kind of so-so. Doesn't really help the story as much as in Dragon Ball Z when filler is just like training between sagas.
Yeah,
so,
true.
Yeah, it's like Goku eating or training for the next threat. Like,
exactly.
Always helps with the whole series. Now, one more question. Would you be Super or Dragon Ball GT? Would you prefer one or the other? Or is it kind of like a mix of both?
It's tough because I'm bringing back the thing I said about My Hero Academia. Super isn't over yet, so it's tough. Because I don't remember. It's been actually not that long ago, like 2 years or something, since I rewatched GT, and I don't think GT is all that bad when it's bad. But Super has the best moments of all time in Dragon Ball, so I'm gonna just by a hair. I'm gonna go Super.
Dude, it's like the transformations in Super are good, especially when he goes Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan God. Oh my God! And then the Ultra Instinct.
Yeah,
so good. Oh man, Perp Saiyan GT has a better story, and then OG Dragon Ball has the best story. I would say OG Dragon Ball does have like a story that's a little more straightforward instead of split into the arcs. Like overall, it kind of has a story that it follows. But I like the arcs in Dragon Ball Z and just how it like splits things up into these self-contained arcs, like Cell Saga and all that.
Yeah, but I know what the person means because the first Dragon Ball, as you said, it's more straightforward, more streamlined, simpler story, but that allows as well for less mistakes on the side to be made. So I see where that person comes from. I just prefer Dragon Ball Z because again, it's more epic and more badass, and there's more fighting, and it's the stuff that connects to me more.
Hey man, bro, like just dudes beating the crap out of each other. Like,
exactly.
It's the best. And we were kids watching this, and we're fine.
Yeah. I had a big pillow that I fought with when I was playing Dragon Ball.
Hell yeah, dude. You wanted to be Goku, man. Like,
yeah. I punched the pillow, throwing it to the other side of the room, and then breaking something.
Have you ever tried to become Super Saiyan?
Not on camera. I know why you're asking this. I've seen the video, and it's the best video ever put on YouTube. Not on camera, but yes.
Oh my God. I'm so glad you get the reference. Oh my God.
Yeah. But I will say the best place to try and become a Super Saiyan is underwater because you can scream and you won't bother anyone and your hair will be all the way up already. So it's the best place. Go underwater and go bro.
And it's like the hair is floating.
Exactly.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. I mean, that dude really tried his hardest to get there.
He did. If he's not getting there, I'm not getting there either. None of us are.
Right? I think he got a little bit closer to a dump, but I don't think he quite got to Dragon Ball Z.
It's true. Respect to Jalen. Right? Mass respect to Jalen.
Respect, my man. Respect. All right, let's move into our most recent really great anime. The one you've got an asterisk by, but it's doing so well so far. I'm talking My Hero Academia, bro. Like, I just would like to hear like your overall thoughts on the series so far because it is so good, man. Like, just what makes My Hero Academia for you so good and such almost just a top 4 anime already, even not having been done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it just works. It's clearly something that I forget the name of the author. but it's clearly something that he thought about very well before even starting. The world is amazingly built. It makes all the sense in the world. The mythos behind the quirks and everybody getting quirks and living in this world is very well established, and he clearly understands what a superhero is, because the show and the manga as well focuses a lot on having jobs in this world. Superheroes have jobs to help people. The fights are there, the fights are awesome, but like in between the fights don't take 20 episodes like Dragon Ball. The fights will take 2, maybe 3 episodes at worst, but the 10 to 12 episodes in between the fights are about the world, about the jobs, about heroes helping people, and where are their priorities, and are they worthy of being heroes. And I just love that because it's extremely inspiring. As someone who grew up liking anime, liking heroes, liking comic books, and all that sort of stuff, and this is very much based on Western comic books, so it has that energy, that magic as well. And as someone who grows up, I think you immediately connect to Deku, because I always thought, like, if I lived in this world, I would love to meet all the superheroes, you know? So the fact that he lives in the world and he doesn't have powers makes it all the more relatable, because he then lives around the superheroes. He can see them, he can interact with them, and because he's someone who has his values in the right place and he has the heart of a hero, he was able to crack that wall and push beyond his limitations, and he is now on his way to be one.
Yeah, man, Deku went plus ultra, bro. Like,
yeah.
It's the very beginning. I mean, it's like the first episode. This kid's jumping straight into danger without a quirk. I mean, he's like saving somebody who does have a quirk, and I'm like, this kid, like, for real?
Yeah.
What a moment.
He was being brave and being stupid, but I like to think I would do that as well if I was in that situation.
I know, right? Like, wouldn't that save you, homeboy, or at least try? Like,
yeah, if you see someone in danger, that's a hero right there.
Yeah, man, it's just like, it's so cool. And you bring up a really good point. The fighting doesn't last 50 episodes, but it's not a bad thing.
Exactly. No, it's not. Because they clearly go full throttle. Like, we had someone, I don't want to divert the conversation, but we had someone reacting to the best fight in the show, for me at least. And it's awesome. I reacted exactly that way when I saw the fight. I was jumping out of my chair. I couldn't believe it.
Oh my god. So yeah, speaking of fights, like, what are some of your favorite moments from the anime? Because there's so many. It's almost like every other episode there's just this heart-stopping, amazing moment. What are a few that just, as soon as you think My Hero Academia, it's like, boom, I go immediately to this moment?
Yeah.
I already know what one it's going to be.
I'm going to tell you the 3 you're expecting already, and then I'm going to name 2 more. So All Might versus Nomo in season 1. That's the first moment in the anime where we're like, oh my god. Then season 3, episode 11, All Might versus One for All, the last embers of One for All. All Might versus All for One, and the last embers of One for All. And United States of Smash is top 5 greatest anime moments of all time. I'm not even having that discussion. It is, you know. And Deku with Eri versus Overhaul. It's amazing, and Deku being overcharged and his first big transformation is amazing. Honorable mention to the fight in the movie Heroes Rising when Deku and Bakugo, spoilers, both get One for All and team up to defeat 9. Oh my god, I was flipping out in the theater. But 2 other fights, man, they're really good. I'm forgetting the name of the character, but it's the guy who's friends with Mirio when they infiltrate the base of Overhaul to rescue Eri, and he stays behind. The guy who turns into Octopus after he eats seafood.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Night Eye. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't recall his name either.
Yeah, but he gets left behind to take care of 3 dudes, and he's almost dying, but he ends up taking care of them, and it's an amazing fight. And the other one is Kirishima, when he's teaming up, also in that invasion of the base. He's teaming up with like the big guy who, again,
Fat
I forget.
Gum.
That's it, Fat Gum. They're teaming up, and Kirishima goes beyond his limits and turns into a big sharp rock. And I love that moment. That shot Kirishima right up for me. So that's a great moment as well. Oh, and how could I forget Deku versus Todoroki in the tournament? When Deku pushes Todoroki beyond the spheres of his dad and whatnot to use fire. And so there are just so many fights. I'm sure I'm forgetting some.
Dude, those are all so good. We got Stain and Overhaul. All Might versus Nomu lives rent-free in my mind. It's so good.
So good.
Sun Eater was the name of
Sun
the
Eater, that's it. Thank you, Michael.
I was like, who?
Yeah, because there's the big three in UA. So it's Mirio, it's the girl who I also forget the name, and then there's that guy, Sun Eater. And he reminds me a lot of... he's like the Shikamaru of My Hero, I felt.
Totally. He's more strategic, kind of thinks things out, and really comes up with strategies and such. Man, so good, so good. Every character in the show will typically get their own moment too. That's what's so good about it, is everybody gets a piece of the action. But
that's a thing. The moments work because without realizing we already cared about them. Like Yamcha and Tien Han have their moments in Dragon Ball, and we're like, good for them, but I don't really care. But in My Hero, it just works with all these characters. There are also interesting, and their motivations are all different. Like in Dragon Ball, love Dragon Ball. It's in my top 5 anime of all time, but it's always save the world, like for the side characters. In My Hero, they all have different goals and motivations, different wants, different needs, and that just really enhances the character work.
Yeah, for real. And even the main character starts out so far behind that in the beginning he can't necessarily win battles, but he brought all of that out of Todoroki. Like somebody who clearly was mentally going through so much, he was still able to change his views and perspective on his abilities in one speech. Like, so good, man. Oh, what a great series so far. Now, what are you looking forward to in season 5? And I apologize, Chad. This may be some spoiler stuff for season 5, but I know you read the manga, so you know what goes on.
Yes, but it was so long. It's one of those things, like, I never remember going from one season to the next, like, oh, it's going to happen. But as soon as they start doing it, I'm like, oh, yeah, this is happening. So if I remember correctly, the next arc is when the villains are attacking in force, correct?
Now, the next arc is going to be specifically Team 1A and 1B when they go up against each other and Deku unlocks some more stuff.
Yes, so obviously that's what I'm looking forward to. I know I am having very cliched answers, but I'm a guy I want what I want. Okay, I want to see that. And, I actually don't remember if it happens, but one character that I really like, that I don't think has had his moment yet, he has shined here and there, we've seen him do some cool stuff, but Tokoyami, he needs to get his shine, man. Mm-hmm. He needs to let the bird go and cover the world in shadows. I really want to see that.
I feel like whenever he's set up for his moment in the anime so far, it's kind of like cut away. Like, it's like he'll get, like, Tokoyami will, like, cover him, and, like, he'll just go berserk almost, and then it kind of just, like, cuts away. Kind of did that in the movie too, The Heroes Rising. It's like, give our boy that screen time. We need to see it.
Exactly. He's just so cool. Like, when you see the lineup of heroes, just look at him and he stands out in a positive manner.
Yeah, man. What do you think about the villains? Because they have, like, quite a different philosophy than some traditional villains. It's not really about taking over the world as much as it's about forming a world for them to actually be accepted in. What do you ever find yourself, like, feeling for the villains? Because, man, there's some empathy for them in this show.
Yeah, I don't feel for them yet, but I understand them and I understand the humanity behind that reasoning, which is most important, I think. And I just don't feel for them yet because I don't think we know enough, but I think the show is revealing those layers. Like Shigaraki, I do, for him specifically. Just saying in general, it's not a thing, but the dude's a monster. And I think we have not, I know we have not seen yet his full potential. Because as it starts going on and as people start to see the rest of the manga adapted, they're going to get scared, Leo. They're going to get real scared.
Oh my God, I was scared reading the pages, man. Like,
yeah.
What
and watching the anime and seeing and watching the anime and reading the manga, for us it's one of those things like, oh my God, I can't wait to see this like adapted, because one of the things I really like about My Hero, and we haven't talked about specifically the anime, is that the creator is very much involved, and he specifically demanded the show to have seasons and not be like a continuous thing like Naruto was. And thanks to him, we don't have filler. We just have that space in between seasons.
Oh my God, so Naruto, the anime right after Naruto versus Sasuke is like 100 episodes of filler.
Yeah, that I never watched because I knew that was the case. Because I got in late with Naruto. I got in very late with Naruto, man.
Smart man, because that was a pain to sit through, bro. Like, it was just episode after episode. You're like, when are they gonna get to Shippuden, man? Like, help us out.
Do you have time for me to tell my story with Naruto?
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah? Okay, so Naruto, again, I went in very late. This was an anime that, when I found it, when it was airing back in channels in Portugal, it was airing at, like, they aired it at dinner time, but then the next day they aired the episodes of the previous day at lunchtime, and then new episodes came in at dinner time and whatnot. And it was an anime that I've heard of for a while, but I was in that place in our teen years where, like, I want to watch cartoons, I gotta grow up. And so I didn't care to start Naruto, even though I still watched Dragon Ball and Digimon secretly. And so I was in that mindset. But one day, Leo, I was having... No, not dinner. I was having lunch. I had class. My dad went to pick me up. And this was like in 9th, 10th grade, something like that. And he went to pick me up, and so I had lunch at home. And I was having lunch, and nothing was on, because I didn't watch the news at lunchtime. I was a teenager. Right. So I turned on to that channel that aired Dragon Ball, but at the time was airing Naruto. And I was like, might as well. And what episode was on? And it was the episode that converted me, and you'll see, and you'll know why it converted me. Because the episode that was on, Leo, was Gaara versus Rock Lee in the Chunin exams. Yes. And the moment I see when I turn it on is Lee dropping the weights. And I was like, oh. And then from that episode on, it started my journey with Naruto, which I also stopped at certain points because it wasn't over. So after the fight with Sasuke and Itachi in Shippuden, that I watched all the way through up until that point, and then I found out the truth about Itachi, and that's when he became my favorite character. Because up until then, he was my most despised villain. I was like, I fucking hate you, goddammit. And so I found out the truth, and then I stopped because the show was coming out. It wasn't over. And so I stopped for a bit, and I got into a few other things. And then when I got back to Naruto, it was almost over, so I binged it, skipping through the filler, because there are very helpful people on the internet who made a list of the filler episodes. So I just jumped ahead of the fillers whenever they came on. And then I caught up with it, and I started watching weekly, like the last 20 episodes maybe.
Dude, yeah. I mean, Naruto, what a fantastic, epic ass moment to get in on.
Yeah.
Like, damn, that was your first episode. Like, your first moment in Naruto was Lee dropping the weights.
Yeah. That was it.
Like, that's the perfect hook, line and sinker to get somebody into Naruto. Like, just watch this fight.
From then on, like, I went back to school after that lunch, and then when I came back home, I went on the internet, because at the time I didn't realize how bad illegally watching things was. But I went to the internet and I started binging from the beginning, and I eventually, very quickly, caught up to that episode.
Absolutely. I mean, what a great episode that was. But Naruto, I gotta ask you this. Did you, when it got to like towards the end of Shippuden, did you start feeling a little disconnected from the anime? Because it started introducing all these nuances towards the end that were just kind of a little mind-blowing, like a little bit like kind of out of nowhere.
I know what you mean. I didn't feel exactly that way, but I did feel some negative things, because I feel, spoilers for Naruto, I feel the ending kind of betrays the very setup of the show, because the setup of Naruto, what connected me to Naruto was he fought against destiny and against all the preconceptions people had about him, because he had that monster inside him, and he fought against it, he surpassed it, he became friends with the monster inside of him, the monster inside of him became good, the story of his parents is so beautiful, and again, it's all a story about fighting what is predestined for us, and Naruto fought against it and broke the mold. And then it turns out he was predestined to team up with Sasuke, because they're descendants of the sage, and team up against their mother, and they're meant to destroy her. And so I felt like it's kind of contradicting the very setup of the show. So it's not something that destroys the anime for me, doesn't destroy the good moments of the story, but it kind of goes against what they set up in the first place.
That's such a good point too, because I'd always tried to like figure it out, but you hit the nail right on the head there. It kind of does go against what it was setting up, really, that there really is somebody's destined for something and they want to betray that destiny. Yeah, and then they ended up all along, like, guess what? You guys are destined to be
what
here.
A twist.
Right. Which the tale of the two brothers episodes were cool, but
yeah.
Right. And it was just kind of like,
I like all the mythology.
Ancestors, all the reincarnation and stuff was a little...
Yeah. The villain, I think, should have either just been Madara or Zetsu, who was trying to get Kaguya back, but the show ended with them stopping them from bringing Kaguya back.
What did you think of Kaguya? Like, them even bringing her in?
It's one of those things, like, I like it. She's a great opponent, but I think narratively she kind of destroys and what's the word I'm looking for? I think she kind of shrinks the impact of Madara in the entire show. Because for the longest time, it's Madara. But then turns out the guy who we thought was Madara was not Madara. And Madara was behind that guy pulling the strings. But then turns out someone was behind Madara pulling the strings. But then turns out someone was behind that person who was pulling Madara's strings. And it just becomes too much, Leo. At a point, you're like, okay, I've seen this twist. You've done this twist 4 times now.
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's just multiple, like 10 layers of middle management. Like, come on, guys.
Kishimoto went crazy on that one a little bit.
Ooh, Mike Thomas. Naruto ended with the Pain arc.
That's such a good arc, man. I love Pain. One of the biggest heartbreaks is when Pain kills Jiraiya.
Oh my god, dude. Somebody commented that. Something else.
Yeah. Like, that's my good friends from Lisbon.
Hey, right on, Ricardo. Welcome in. Now, Ren, since we're talking so much Naruto, I gotta ask you then. You said earlier you were Uchiha over the rest of the characters. Your top 3 are Uchiha characters. Would you like to see a spin-off from Sasuke's perspective? Or would that take away from the series for you?
I think it would take away. I think what I'd like to see is maybe a mini-series on Madara, and I'm forgetting his best friend, who was the first Hokage. but I'm forgetting his first his name.
Hashirama Senju.
Hashirama, that's it. Thank you very much. So I'd like to see maybe a mini series on them, because we saw all the flashbacks, we heard all about their friendship, but I'd like to see more of them. I think there's more, maybe stuff that we already know, but a little bit more expanded. That's like going back on characters that we already know. I think that's the only one I'd like to see.
That's fair. That's fair, because you kind of do, like, if you run like a Sasuke side story, it's kind of like, oh, but this is about Naruto.
Yeah, and they're kind of already ruining Sasuke with Boruto, which I gave up on watching, but I keep seeing what's happening. I keep checking in.
I was gonna ask you, have you been on Boruto? But yeah, I
dropped it very quickly. I think I watched the first arc. I think I got through the first arc, which I liked. In fairness, I liked. And then I don't even remember what made me drop it, but I eventually dropped it.
Doesn't it just almost feel, in the beginning, it almost feels like Naruto Jr., and then it takes a turn that just is way too heavy and drastic for the series, like the aliens and stuff. Like, how did you feel about all that?
I didn't like it, man, because yes, it felt like Naruto Jr., but it was earnest about it. At the point they're at right now, I feel... Do you watch any of the... I know this is going to feel like a very weird comparison. Do you watch any of the CW Arrowverse shows?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I enjoyed the show Supergirl fine enough. But when they brought in Superman, they started to job him out. They started to make him look ridiculous and undermining Superman to make Supergirl look good, which they didn't need to do. They can make Supergirl look good on her own. Boruto at this point is just something that is completely undermining Naruto, not just the character, but the entire story of Naruto as a whole. At least that's how I feel. And I'm sure, and I know a lot of people like Boruto, so I'm not trying to yuck on anybody's yum. If you like Boruto, that's awesome, and I feel jealous. I wish I could enjoy it. But I don't know, it's just, it feels like it's kind of attacking Naruto more than anything else.
Kind of hurting the lore that Naruto set up so well.
Yeah, it's... I don't know, man. It's just not for me. Maybe I'm an old curmudgeon at this point, and I like my original shows and don't like the sequels. But yeah, Boruto's not for me. I tapped out.
Yeah, it just took Naruto in a direction that was not desirable.
Yeah.
The days of long-running animes are over. Yeah, they're starting to really shorten up and do, like, couple seasons and then just wrap things up, which I would prefer, but yeah, Ren's not gonna die on us, Tyler.
I'm not dying, Tyler, but thank you. It's just the voltage on my plugs. I have a dummy battery precisely not to die, so it is weird, but I'm not dying. But thank you.
He's good. He'll stay in the race, I promise. Now, this is quite a weird comment. So Naruto is so long that, according to Mike Thomas, it's still airing on the Toonami block over here in the War arc. It's still running.
Holy crap!
which Ren, they air episodes, new episodes every week. This has been so
so long. It's weekly. Of course, it's still airing.
Dude, that started when I was in like high school, late middle school.
Yeah, no, and when I started watching, I was like, again, I told you, in 9th, 10th grade, but then it ended in 20, I ended it when it ended in 2017, 16, 17, I want to say, so 6 years when it was already going for a while, so that's saying something.
Yeah, man, I like your idea of Madara, going the Madara and Hashirama route. I think I would have preferred that to Boruto, to be honest. Like,
yeah,
Boruto does not really do much.
Or at least Boruto being not what it is right now.
Have you dived into One Piece heavily?
No, One Piece, in all fairness, is one that I tried, and it just didn't work for me. I didn't like the sense of humor, I didn't like the look of the characters, so I'm not saying the show doesn't get better, but I tried it like 10 years ago or something like that. I watched maybe 3-4 episodes. I had a group of friends in college who were all also very into anime, and they tried to get me into One Piece, but One Piece was just one that didn't work for me.
Dude, it's up on episode 1000 now.
Jesus. Yeah, even if I liked it, I think I would have tapped out by now because I just would never catch up.
Nah, man. It's 1000 episodes. 500, 300's even a little bit much. Like,
yeah, you get intimidated. Like, I didn't start Fairy Tail because it's also a lot of episodes, like 300 or something like that. And Fairy Tail is right up my alley. It's fantasy, it's dragons, it's fire, people with fire powers and ice powers and whatnot. But I just couldn't start Fairy Tail. It's just intimidating.
Yeah, and it's honestly, man, it falls apart. It's one of them animes.
Really?
It gets to a certain point in the anime, and it just kind of
those are the anime that I have at least one very close friend trying to get me into it that really loves it. It's One Piece, it's Fairy Tail, and I actually don't hang out anymore with the person who likes Fairy Tail. Not that anything bad happened, just drifted apart. So it's Fairy Tail and Bleach. I have a very good friend who really and he's like the only person who I know that loves Bleach. But that's also another one that I just couldn't get into.
Yeah, Bleach, and Bleach like ended, and now it's back, and there's a lot going on there. Do you watch Attack on Titan though? Purpo's been saying the whole time we got to catch up on Attack on Titan, and if you watch Attack on Titan,
I watched the first season of Attack on Titan. I really liked it, and then I started reading the manga while I was waiting for the second season. I don't even remember what it was, but something happens in chapter 75 of the manga that got me very pissed, and I remember, I'm giving up on this, and I stopped reading the manga. I never watched season 2 or season 3, and I'm not watching season 4 right now.
Ooh, so something really turned you off in that chapter.
Yeah, I remember the exact chapter, but I don't remember what it actually was.
Dang, man. Okay. All right. I got to ask you that later. I gotta dig into chapter 75 and be like, was it this?
Maybe I don't even know if it's one of those things that if you tell me, I'll be like, oh yeah, that was it. Maybe I just don't remember and I blocked it in the back part of my brain. But I only remember how pissed I was at the time, and I was like, nope, give up, dropping, closing the tab on it, and not watching the anime whenever it comes out.
Oh man. Well, the anime, it follows the manga, but it just seems like a really good quality anime. Like, people are just
it's really good.
It.
Like, the animation is fantastic. I like the world. I like the characters. I think it was something that was the eventual payoff of something. And at the time, I believe I felt like it deconstructs whatever they were building up until then. And so, to me, it just made me feel angry. Maybe one day, I'll when the show is over, I'll be like, let me try this again. And I'll just watch the show and not read the manga. So, who knows? Just right now, I'm glad you brought Attack on Titan up, because I know it's very popular. A lot of people like it. And I just want to get my 2 cents out there.
Yeah, there kind of seems to be this dynamic of, Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, and then there's that samurai one. All 3 of them are just really, like, popular right now. Like, those are the big 3. You had One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach.
What is the samurai one?
Why do I always forget the name of this anime? Like, I'm constantly on it, but it's like, y'all will know what I'm talking about in the comments.
Is it a current one?
Yeah, it's current.
Oh, okay.
And for some reason, I always forget the exact name of it, but then whenever I see it, I'm like, I'm super into this.
Is it Demon Slayer?
Demon Slayer, yep.
Okay,
yep, Demon
okay.
Slayer.
That's one I also got to start, because it's from the same studio that did Fate Stay Night and Limited Blade Works, which, by the way, I brought up and didn't even show you that I have a tattoo of Fate Stay Night and Limited Blade Works.
That's fucking
These are
tight,
the blades
dude.
of the main character.
Oh,
yeah.
shit. Yeah, that's one of your favorites, then. That's tight, bro.
Yeah, my number one, man. Yeah.
Love
no, it. I wanted it like this. Maybe one day, like paint a little bit of the hilts here because it's tape that he has around it. Maybe a little bit of red, like glowing around it. But the blades themselves, that's how I want them, because one is black, one is white, and all of us have a good and bad side.
That is so fucking cool. Now I need to finish Fate Stay Night.
Dude, so good. And if you haven't done yet, after that, watch Fate Zero, which is the prequel.
Dude, see, I'm not in the Fate universe that deep, but what I've seen,
that's where you go first. That's where you go first. I mean, if you want to get back to it, actually restart with Fate Zero and then go back again into Fate Stay Night.
Okay, so cover the prequel, and then you get kind of a feeling of the past, and you get like
exactly.
Okay, right on. Yeah. I know. Tyler says, "I know I'm old." When you said samurai anime, and I thought of Rurouni Kenshin.
That I thought that too, Tyler, because I grew up with that. But when you brought up samurai anime, Leo was like, "No, but he's talking about current stuff, so he can't be that." But that's the one I thought of as well. Have you seen the live action movies, by the way?
Yes, they're so good,
dude. So good.
The third one just came out like in the last few years.
Yeah, no, I remember I was in college and I hadn't heard of Rurouni Kenshin for the longest time. And one of my best friends, she was then and she's still today. And she was like, "Oh, have you seen the trailer for the live action? Have you seen the live action Rurouni Kenshin? Because the first one was already out by then, or it had just come out." I'm like, "Live action anime movie? I don't think so." She showed me the trailer, and I was like, "Okay, the trailer is actually pretty good." And she was like, "The movie is so good," and I was like, "Okay, I'll give it a watch." And it was really good. And then so I stayed with my eye on when's the second one and third one coming out.
Would you say that's like your favorite of the live action anime adaptations, or at least one of?
Probably. It's not like the competition is fierce, but that's probably the one. There's also Blade of the Immortal is amazing as well. And I like the Scarlett Johansson Ghost in the Shell.
Okay, so I thought you were about to say something like I like Dragon Ball Evolution. Like,
no, that's my most hated film of all time, Leo. Do not mention that name in front of me.
I was just about to say I know something that's gonna make you a little heated. Mentioning Dragon Ball Evolution, dude. Let me ask you, man. Like, what? How come some of these live action spin-offs just don't get it right? Like Dragon Ball Evolution and The Last Airbender, like, what are they really missing? Like, in your opinion, do you think it's just like they're not asking enough, like, actually tuning and digging into the lore? Because it seems that they come up with these live action adaptations that are almost completely different than what's going on in the lore, especially Dragon Ball Evolution.
Oof. I mean, that is one of the problems for sure, that they're not digging enough into the lore. Another one is that they try like Goku, for example. They did Dragon Ball, the first one, but Goku was already a 20-something-year-old dude. Like, do it with a kid. Go crazy. Don't be afraid. These worlds are crazy. These characters are crazy and interesting and colorful in the literal sense. So the Dragon Ball movie looks so normal for the most part, but then they insert these Dragon Ball things in it, and it just looks weird. Like, I remember there's one stupid moment in that film, one of many. There, I think it's him and Bulma. They're looking for the Dragon Balls, and from one scene where they're like, "Okay, will you help me out?" "Yes, I will help you out." And then it cuts, and Goku is just eating a giant turkey leg. Which is like, number one, where did you get that? Number two, I get it's a reference to the anime, but you're not doing anything else like Goku does. You're not eating all the time. Like, that is the one moment where he resembles Goku in some sense. So because of the rest of the film, that, when he acts like Goku, that is the weird part. And it shouldn't be like that.
Oh my God.
That's the most streamlined way I have of answering that question, because it's a tough one to summarize.
Yeah. Sorry, I threw you a curveball, man, but
no, dude, it's cool.
It just really doesn't do the series justice at all. Like it.
Nah.
And that's crazy you say that, because when you see him do like the Kamehameha wave and start training to do that, you're kind of like, well, what? Why? at this point.
Yeah.
Like, just don't, man. Like, leave it alone.
That is not the Kamehameha wave. Educate your children. That is not the Kamehameha wave. The Kamehameha wave does not bring people back to life. It kills them.
Dude, I mean, I'm like, that's not even the Rasengan, and it looks closer to that.
Yeah.
Like, what in the world?
Dude, I remember the coolest thing about the Kamehameha wave in the anime is like that they stay there for the longest time because they need to concentrate, and you have all the muscles busting out and all the veins pumping, and he has to be really strong to even bring it up. And in the movie, he just dances around and there's some airbending, and there it is, and doesn't even look good. Like, in the anime, it's something the ground starts to break around you because you are being able to summon the Kamehameha wave. You have to concentrate, you have to be strong, you have to put all your power, mental and physical and psychological, into it, and only then you can hope to reach the Kamehameha. And the Kamehameha wave looks awesome. Like, in the movie, it's just a little ball, not much bigger than this thing in front of my microphone. Dude. You and I could make each of us could make a 5-minute YouTube video that is just a Kamehameha wave, and it would look better than that. There are competitions at cons where people just sign up to go to the stage and scream Kamehameha wave, and it's better than what you saw in the film.
Hey, man, bro. I mean, that was the most pathetic excuse for a Kamehameha wave. And look, I don't even talk about movies like that, but this was... I don't even want to call it a movie, man. I'm just going to call that somebody's side project.
Yeah. And they had the balls to sequel bait us. Like, as if we'd want to see a sequel to what we just witnessed. Like, I have people that have asked me, do a Dragon Ball Evolution review, like, on your channel, because we know it's going to be a rant, because it's going to be angry, and I'm like, I can't. Number one, I'm not that funny of a person to do one of those reviews like Nostalgia Critic, like Chris Stuckman did for his. Like, I'm not comically capable in that sense, and I do not have the energy, man. I just don't have the energy to... I'll watch someone else review those movies and make fun of them, and it's awesome. I don't have the energy to go through that film again, to come up with jokes that I can't come up with on my own. So it's just cool to sit here talking to you and not having to do any editing after this, and we don't have to actually witness the movie.
I mean, I don't know. After just sitting here talking with you, I wouldn't mind watching a Ren Geekness throwback review of this, but I don't want to put you through that torture, man. Like,
no, thank you.
Honestly, that's like chronic torture. Tyler transformed into the monkey. Oh, man. It was just comical at that point.
And do you remember when they said this movie is for the fans, but like they play that as some big twist? Like, the fans will know that he is the monkey. So why are we pretending he's not?
Right. Why are we pretending he's not? Why does Piccolo look horrible? Like,
yeah.
There's just so many wrong things about that movie.
That's one of the problems as well with that film, is that they clearly didn't put the money they needed behind it in the first place. Because if they did, maybe it would at least look okay, you know? But I don't know, man. Dragon Ball is all about bright colors and spectacular scenarios and landscapes, and then for the most part you have people inside a volcano and in a high school and in a regular looking city. Dressed normally, like Goku should have like jocks and joggers in him, bright orange joggers, and he should just be flying around in this nimbus, sitting down with his legs crossed, and that would already make it feel more like Dragon Ball.
That right there is already a better movie than Evolution, man.
Yeah,
it's
not tough. I don't have a tough job at doing that, to be fair.
I mean, I'm like, could somebody have brought a Dragon Ball fan in and been like, well, what do you think of how we have it so far set up? And that person could have just went to town and been like, no, scrap all this, man. Y'all, the Goku high school stuff. Why is he even in high school? Like, it's like, dude.
He's secluded in a mountain. He doesn't know what a girl is.
Right? At the beginning of the series, he's like, wait, what are you to Bulma?
Yeah, and all the perv stuff he does, yes, he learns a lesson, of course, and I'm not saying do those exact same jokes in a live-action movie. And by the way, I think a movie is also another one. Dragon Ball doesn't work as a movie. Don't. Do a show. If you do a live-action show, I think it can work. Like, I think anime has a bright potential for live-action, like most of them, if not all. But do a show. Unless you're adapting an anime movie, I don't think an anime show can become a movie. But yeah, man, you can do Goku doesn't know what a girl is, so all those perv jokes, which again you'd have to update and bring more into the current climate, but it works and it is funny because he's completely innocent. He genuinely does not know and doesn't know all these rules about how to treat a lady, and so he learns, and that's part of his journey with Bulma. You already have something there for him to learn along his journey on a personal level.
Exactly. And it's like he didn't know, like he had no idea.
Yeah.
Like he'd never seen a girl in his life, so it would be easy to do something that obviously crosses boundaries, but how would he know without even trying it?
Exactly.
Now I gotta ask you, for somebody who's new to anime, has never seen an anime before, what would you recommend they start with? A series or even a few?
So I legit always go to Dragon Ball, but I understand if it's something, oh, this is like 700 episodes, it's a little bit intimidating, and I go, okay, I think you can very well start with My Hero Academia, because if you're new to anime, My Hero Academia has a lot of Western sensibilities and a lot of Western based elements about it, so it's almost like if someone that's new to anime goes into that, doesn't even notice how different it is, but then as it transitions from My Hero Academia to another thing, it will start to notice all the Eastern tropes. And I'm not saying Eastern tropes as a bad thing, they're great, that are found in anime. Another great one that also has a lot of Western elements of it is Cowboy Bebop, is also great.
Yeah.
The Studio Ghibli films, I think, are an amazing place to start. Like small chunks of anime, like 2 hours or an hour 30 long, and then I want to get into more, and there are shows, and after that you get into shows. That's amazing. Leo, there's a show that I haven't talked about, and I don't know if you've seen it, but it only has one season, I think, unless it has a second one that I don't remember. But there's a show called Death Parade. Death Parade is one of the most brilliant shows I have seen. And I know you also want to review more anime and maybe even react to more anime. I wanna recommend more things to you, but Death Parade is something. It's more not for kids. Don't put kids watching Death Parade. But if you're an adult that just enjoys animated shows and animated things for adults and wants to get into anime, Death Parade is another great one. Even though I don't like it, I think Attack on Titan is a great one to get into anime. Demon Slayer, for all I hear, is a great one, but I haven't started yet, so take that one with a grain of salt. Beyond that, I think that's it. Like, good places to start that I know are welcoming for a general number of people. I think those are the ones.
Yeah, that's a really good starting set, because they're not, besides maybe My Hero Academia, none of them are really that long. And you can just get right into it. And yeah, starting with Studio Ghibli films, especially if you want to start English dub stuff, they usually have an English cast, somebody on that cast list you recognize. Or at least a couple
Bud, watch
names.
the subs. I'm a sub guy.
I admittedly started with the dubs on those. Princess Mononoke.
I'm not gonna blame you. I started watching it in the cinema, so I watched the Portuguese dubs at the time.
See, so sometimes dub is good, but I typically okay. So you're a sub and over dub?
I'm a sub over dub. I find that the dub generally works better for anime that I grew up with. Because the thing I'm traumatized with when it comes specifically to the American dubs, and I apologize, it's not your guys' faults, but what I find traumatizing, like for Digimon and Dragon Ball, I was traumatized when I tried to watch it in English because the Digimon are evolving, and they're not evolving with a Braveheart song from Miyazaki Ayumi. How fucking dare you? I apologize, I shouldn't swear. But how dare you, like that riff of guitar, and you go with the digi rap instead of that. From then on, I just had a big issue with the American dubs, my friend. But like for My Hero Academia, I know they didn't change the soundtrack, the score. They just changed like the voices. So I think not a problem with that at all. Dragon Ball, I do not like what Bruce Falconer did with that show. I think he has one good theme, and that's when Goku goes Super Saiyan 3. But outside of that, like Yu-Gi-Oh! I watched the Portuguese dub growing up, but the Portuguese dub was imported from America. So the intro, the score, all I know of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the English version. So that one, for instance, the dub works much better for me. Pokemon is the same thing. So again, as I said, it's stuff that I grew up with, that I generally find that I always had the English version with me in the first place that was just then dubbed into Portuguese. But for the most part, I'm a sub guy.
Dude, okay, so you talked about Digimon. I gotta admit something here. I have never watched the sub. It has been all dub, and that Digimon
so you don't know.
So good.
So you don't know how epic it actually is when a Digimon digivolves.
Because they got that Digimon rap, man. It's so cool.
I am going to have fun with you. Woo! Oh man, I am going to educate you. I'm going to make sure you're educated.
In the sub?
Dude, it's so on another level, man. Because Digimon, what I had growing up, was imported from the Japanese dub. So I had all the Japanese songs, all the Japanese score. But then the first movie, like, do you remember the Diablo movie that came to theaters? I also had that, but that was imported from the America version, where they collaged 3 movies together and had the Anna Anaconda short at the beginning and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And so I started watching that film, having seen the show with the Portuguese dub imported from Japan, with all the great songs and epic scoring when the Digimon evolved. Then I watched that movie and they start Digimon and I'm like, here we go, and it's the Digi-Wrapped. I was destroyed, my man. I was so hard. I was like, what is this? What is this? Where is my Japanese music from Miyazaki Ayumi? What the hell is happening? I cannot oversell how traumatized I was, Leo.
Dude, oh man, as you're talking, I'm just like recalling the Digimon rap in my head, and it's just like, it was iconic here. Like,
no, I get it. If I had grown up with it, I probably would be just fine. But look, I'm going to make sure you watch the Japanese dub, and you react to that first episode of Adventure, and you just see them digivolving with the Digivolution song.
The song, oh my god,
the song.
I'm sure, just like Purpose saying, it's drastically different. But this was such a great comment that a lot of people's first anime is Pokemon. They didn't even know it. I'm not sure if that was the case in Portugal, but like here, like Pokemon was such a phenomenon here. Like it was just like when we were kids, people had the games. The show was like at its full velocity. And it was like people were watching Pokemon, and then when you learned about anime, you go back and you're like, wait, Pokemon was like, and it wasn't ever advertised as an anime. It wasn't ever, same with Digimon, to be honest. It just got dubbed, and it was never really presented as an anime.
Yeah, I am not sure, to be honest. I don't know if when I started watching Pokemon, I knew that it was an anime or not, but I gotta think I did, because I think I already had a notion of Dragon Ball. I already watched Dragon Ball. So yeah, but I knew, I watched the anime first, then I got the games, but I think I knew when Pokemon started, I knew what an anime was, or at least I recognized like the style of the drawings, and I'm like, oh, this must be from the same people that do Dragon Ball, is what I thought at the time. So yeah,
you kind of recognize they have the similar style, so it's like, there's something different here.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, your buddy Ricardo saying not to don't forget to mention the last evolution. Kazuna is the Toy Story 3 of the animes.
Yeah, I mentioned it. I just have to be careful because Leo hasn't seen it yet. But I made sure I mentioned that. I made sure I mentioned he must grab the tissues. I actually let me look for it real quick.
Dang,
I have it here.
That emotional?
It's that dude. If you grew up with Digimon and you watched the shows and you watched Try, it's gonna hit you. I'm just gonna go off camera because the Blu-ray is right here.
Oh man, I'm not ready. Here
it is, beautiful slipcover.
Ooh, that's gorgeous.
And it's so good because you and I, because you and I have the same age. You and I are at the same age that they are. Actually, Digimon in Japan came out on March 7th, 1999, which is my birthday.
Wow, that is awesome. So you're actually linked to Digimon, bro.
I am. I found out very recently.
We gotta make it today.
Exactly. Even though it must have taken a while for Digimon to get to my country. But yeah.
That is so phenomenal. So Ren, we've had a crazy good conversation. I've taken you a little bit over time. I mean, I was like,
I'm good, man.
Hour, but hey, man, I love chatting with you. Is there any other anime that you wanted to bring up? Anything else you wanted to discuss?
Yes, because I know, like me, we brought this up. I know you also want to start covering more anime on your channel. So I want you, and I know you like to react. I want you to, and I don't know if you're the person who's told me that you've already started it but haven't continued yet. But I want you to blindly go into The Promised Neverland and react to the first episode. Yeah, so you have started. Okay. But do that with Death Parade then, because Death Parade is an incredible concept, because it's basically... how should I put this? It's basically a bar, but it's in purgatory. And people end up there after they die. And so basically every episode you have the bartender and a few other characters that are always there. But every episode someone new comes in through the elevator for the bar and they come down in the elevator. And the entire episode is finding out where they are going, to hell or to heaven. And it's really interesting.
Ooh, dude, that sounds tight. Okay, I'm going to have to get on it, bro. Request taken.
It's amazing, dude.
I'm on that.
It's amazing, man. I'm sure you're going to love it.
Right on, brother. Well, thanks for the recommendation. Let people know where they can find you and what's coming up on your channel.
You can find, again, thank you very much for having me, brother. Happy to talk anime anytime, talk anything anytime with you, and hopefully this was just the first of many times. And you guys can find me on Twitter and YouTube at Ren Geekness, like it's spelled over here, and on Instagram at RenVR93. Again, it's a more personal account, but I post there every now and then what I'm watching, and a review is gonna come out, so stay tuned for that one as well if you want to get to know me on a more personal level. After this, I'm going to be watching something that I'm going to drop tomorrow that I was asked, and you were asked as well, Leo, not to say what it was, but I'll be watching a movie today, and I'll be posting a review tomorrow. It's a very busy week. I got a lot of things on Netflix. I'm dropping a review for Dota Dragon's Blood on Thursday, and a review for Falcon and Winter Soldier on Friday. So very busy week. And next Saturday, another episode of my podcast with Zach Pope, Geeks of the Roundtable, comes up.
Hey, right on, bro. And no, this is the first of many, man. Like, I definitely want to have you back on the channel a lot more, Ren, because we got a lot coming up. My Hero Academia. We've got King Kong. Actually, I was thinking, and we'll talk a little off cam. I was thinking of doing some week to week shows on My Hero Academia, like possibly doing some live streams. And I'm gonna get you.
Oh, that's awesome!
I'm gonna get the guys from the Amateur Otaku who came through, Isaac and Mike. Like, we got a round table and just chat about this, because it's about to be epic with this transitioned into an anime. It's about to be tight.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm in. I'm so in.
Awesome. Well, guys, definitely follow Ren Geekness. And if you're watching the replay, this is me, my boy Ren Geekness, man. This man is a hustler, constantly putting out content, putting out great content, great reviews. Man, when I discovered your channel, Ren, I knew. I was like, me and this guy, we got to be friends. Got to.
And it happened just like that, and now here we are, and it's gonna go. We're only gonna get closer from now on, brother.
Heck yeah, man! So coming up on Geekly Goods, guys, we've got the Zack Snyder Justice League, which I probably shouldn't have dropped that, but that'll be coming out a little bit later this week. Captain America ranking is coming on Tuesday. I'll be doing that live with Candid Cinema. Now, I'm supposed to be doing something Falcon and Winter Soldier today, potentially, but I'm not entirely sure if that'll happen today, but I will be having coverage for that every Friday. And then Invincible is coming up too, so stay on the lookout for that.
I'm also dropping that on Friday. I forgot to say. Thank you for bringing that up.
Oh my God, Invincible has been great so far. That's all I can say. But guys, go follow Ren. Definitely be sure to check out his channel and hit that subscribe button for him. Guys, thank you so much for coming through, and we'll see you next time on